Hi, it's so good to see you.
Oh, you look so pretty.
Oh, so cute. I love the NC State shirt. Had to represent.
Of course. Sorry, it took me a minute. I totally blanked on how to add someone to live. But it looks
No
like we have
worries.
some people watching, so I'll just go ahead and get started. This is episode 5 of the check-in, which is awesome. And just to let everybody know, my name's Hailey. I'm a reporter broadcaster for PackTV, and today I have my girl Caroline. I'm really excited actually today about like this quick interview because for everyone that's like watched the rest or like the other ones that I've done, I focus on sports at NC State, but today I'm moving more towards sports and like jobs in sports, how you get them, how you get experience. And so Caroline and I are in the same major, she graduated. Congratulations, Caroline.
Thanks. So sad.
I know, despite the circumstances, but
Yes.
so we're both sport management majors, had some classes together, stuff like that. And so for sport management, we were required to do an internship. So Caroline actually contacted me. She wanted to talk more about her internship. So that's really exciting. So I'm excited that, we're getting to do this because awareness is key. And I don't think people realize how many opportunities are in sports, but also how hard it is to get those opportunities and stuff like that, especially with all this COVID stuff going on. So,
Yes.
fortunately. So, we'll just jump right in. So, you told me that you're doing an internship with Must Love Sports. So do you mind telling me about like the founder of the company, like what their mission and goal is, stuff like that?
Absolutely. So the founder of the company, ironically, is named Raleigh, and she was named Raleigh because her mom went to NC State and just loved it, and so they named her Raleigh after it. And she like, if I had a girl crush, it would be on her. I still do, to be honest. She's amazing. She actually joined Wasserman. They bought her consulting firm for sports, and she founded Athlete Exchange while a part of Wasserman, and even before she had her own company called Must Love Sports. And she really started the program. She literally started it, she said, in May. So the program went live in June. And she was just like, look, I saw like everyone losing their internships in the sports world. No one was holding internships in sports virtually. And she saw this opportunity and she's like, I wouldn't be anywhere that I am today without my internships. So she decided to start her own program. Her inspiration was a girl named Naomi lost her internship with the Hornets in Charlotte. She goes to Wake Forest. And she started this internship with the idea that we get to talk to a ton of different amazing guest speakers and panelists and also collaborate with one another because, as you know, the sports world is growing massively, and people like you and me and our colleagues in sport management, we don't have as much, we don't necessarily have a great plan out of college. We have to start somewhere, and internships are a great way to do so. So she started that with that in mind, and ultimately she became this program's grown to over 180 college students from all over the nation: Michigan, University of South Carolina, University of Southern California, even some international students. So we've all really gotten to know one another, worked collaboratively, and also have gotten to meet incredible guest speakers along the way.
Well, I didn't know, like I did my research and I like looked it up and stuff, and just from me not knowing anything about it and even just like looking at just the website, it looked like something that had been going on for years, not literally like a month now. It was just that month. So that's awesome. That's really awesome that she did that for everyone because especially like with us, I don't know how it is at other schools with like sport management majors, but with a required internship, it does kind of create that pressure, like, oh, like we have to like plan this far ahead for things. Like it's really like a hustle. So I was gonna ask, don't know. You might have told me this, I don't remember, but did you have an internship set up after you graduated, and did that get canceled?
So Yes, I would say kind of. I was in the final round for an associate program, which is a 2-year program with Fenway Sport Management. And so I was looking to do that program, and that got canceled.
Okay.
And so I was kind of left wondering what my next step would be. And I ultimately decided to apply to grad school because, you know, without sports going on, there's not many available positions.
Right.
So I applied to grad school, and it was actually through a contact I made at the university. She had reposted a Sports Business Journal article on LinkedIn, and it was about Raleigh and what she had started. And I had interned at Wasserman my junior spring semester, where she works now. And I also saw her contacts that are also my contacts from the internship start posting and reposting that. So I applied to the program, and she accepted me and, you know, 160 other college age kids. And it's designed only for people that are college seniors and graduate students. So she picked that group because she realized they're probably the ones that are, not saying that other college students are the most affected by COVID, because they're
Right.
entering the workforce. And, you know, as you said, we need an internship to graduate. And if it gets canceled, then you ultimately have to take another semester or something like that. So she designed that for those people like me that kind of had to change their plan, and all my other co-interns.
So I was gonna. So you found the internship through like LinkedIn? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
So
They covered an article on Sports Business Journal, and they did it that way.
so do you know how other people like found the internship?
So it was interesting that you asked. There's about 20 or so kids from both Michigan and South Carolina that are a part of it. And so Raleigh just reached out to all of her connections in the sports world. So she went and spoke or did Zoom calls like this with professors and other people in the education world. And she also did press for it. So Sports Business Journal, she sat down and spoke with someone about it. Since the time was so short between the internship starting and it being created, she didn't have the opportunity to do as much advertising for it as she wanted to, but she actually, she's still constantly doing it, and she wants to continue it. She doesn't want it to end after this, whether it's virtual or in person. She just wants to continue on. So that's part of the reason I reached out to you, because I've had an incredible experience, and I wanted more people, especially NC State people, to know about it.
Right. Well, I was gonna say that based on just like the small stuff that you told me about it, I would hope that she would notice how much people are benefiting from it, and like hopefully continue to do it in the future. Because, you know, whether COVID's here next summer or not, like I'm gonna need to do an internship next summer. You know, a lot of people are gonna need to have opportunities like that. So
Absolutely.
that was going to be something I was going to say. So now I want to kind of get into what exactly you do. So I did a little research, and I was trying to find like if there were like different sessions or whatever. So I found the summer session. I'm not sure if that's what you're involved in, but what does that entail for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So what a regular week, I would say, looks like: you can either choose to do the capstone project aspect or the non-capstone. So the people that are doing the capstone project are getting it for school credit. So she built it in to make sure that those people that need school credit can do the project. The project, or the group, ended up getting so much bigger than she expected. So not all of us can work on capstone projects, but the ones that are working on the projects are working like with brands like Wasserman and NASCAR, and of AT&T, I believe, and they're doing a bunch of work with the capstone. And then for me, I have assignments, so it's kind of like school. I had to upload my resume. We've worked on cover letters together. We've worked on expanding our network and creating our network. We have weekly, every couple of days or so, an assignment she posts on Google Classroom that we must complete. We have to write, well, not write actually, we have to record thank you videos to the guest speakers that come each and every week. But I would say the biggest chunk of time, or where we spend the most time, is actually on the Zoom calls. So we've had an incredible list of speakers come and speak with us, and those are about an hour or so each day. And we're allowed to take notes, and it's kind of like a lecture, but from, you know, some of these most impressive sports industry titans. And it's just been incredible. We also have to have a one-on-one meeting with Rowley, and we have weekly meetings with fellow interns, because her whole point is we're the next generation of these sport management majors and sports industry workers coming up. So we need to get to know one another, since the sports industry is a little bit on the smaller side. So yeah, that's kind of, I would say it takes up a good chunk of time, probably 8 to 9 hours or so each week, but it's been an incredible experience, and it can be as much as you want it to be or as little. So I reach out to others and speak with them about different opportunities and get to know them that way. But yeah, that's kind of a little rundown as well.
Do you mind sharing like a few of the speakers that you've heard from on Zoom?
Yeah, so it's been incredible. So Jay Williams, the Duke basketball star, and also, I guess now broadcaster, Tom Telesco, the general manager of the Los Angeles Chargers, not San Diego, and actually Tom Glick, the president of the Panthers. So we're also expecting to talk to a bunch of other amazing people. Next week we're talking to the president of NASCAR, which will be awesome. And we've also talked to a lot of people that work behind the scenes doing the really important jobs. Mm-hmm. So like the SVP of the LA Kings, and we had an agent today that represents Colin Kaepernick. So we've had a lot of different people from the sports industry, and that's why I've really loved it, is because it's not just like one or two different types of, or the same type of people over and over again. It's just such a wide variety.
And I know that like some of the classes that we've taken at State, when we have influential guest speakers like that, that's when like I feel like I learn the most sometimes, because mm-hmm. you're hearing from these people who are like experts almost, and it's just really eye-opening. So that would probably be my favorite part of an internship for sure. So that's really exciting. I was gonna ask how you thought that doing like an internship online, like doing it through Zoom, mm-hmm. like how have you felt about that? Because I know that that's obvious, like none of us really pictured doing classes online. If it was more hands-on, do you think you would benefit more? How do you feel about doing that?
I think it's kind of a double-edged sword. I feel like we could work on like more project-based things, but we can't necessarily do that, work on those projects collectively, because of the lack of sports that are happening right now. Mm-hmm. A lot of major brands, they're trying to reallocate funds for different projects, digital media, and I don't think interns necessarily would get to work on projects like that. But on the flip side, so if it was in person, I really believe we could do more projects. But on the flip side, because it's virtual, I think we get so many more speakers that are willing to come speak with us, because they can do it from the comfort of their homes, or they can do it from LA, and I'm based in Greensboro and Founders based in Charlotte. So it just depends how you look at it. For me, doing the actual like project work is important, but because of NC State and because of my past internships, right now making connections for me is even more important than that. And so that this internship has given me that opportunity for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think that something they tell us a lot in class and they stress a lot is network, make connections. So so it sounds like that internship is definitely helping you with that.
Absolutely.
So what have you, if there's like one thing you can pick out, what have you enjoyed the most about your internship experience with Must Love Sports?
It's been really cool getting to meet tons of other students from around the country. I've really loved that. But I think my favorite, I mean, we had the CEO of Wasserman and the founder, Casey Wasserman, come. And so I worked for Wasserman for 5 months or so. And I loved every minute of that. And getting to actually meet him and talk with him and ask him questions, that was incredible because I was able to see why Wasserman is so successful today and why they're so good at making the client their top priority and the importance of customer service. And selfishly, like, having Jay Williams come speak to you is super cool because you grow up, you see him on ESPN, you see him broadcasting, and he shouted me out because I purposely wore my dad's old Duke sweatshirt.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
And right before the Zoom call was going to end, he said, "Hey, Caroline, I love your Duke sweater." So I was like, that's so cool. So selfishly, that was probably my most favorite moment so far of the internship.
That's really funny. I'm disappointed that you put on a Duke sweatshirt or whatever, but
it wasn't Carolina. It wasn't Carolina.
That's fair. So my last question was, I feel like I already know your answer to this question, but would you recommend Must Love Sports to anyone else, even if, you know, in the future COVID wasn't happening and, you know, there were all these other options? Would you still recommend Must Love Sports?
I mean, I would, and that was probably an obvious question,
Yeah.
or an obvious answer, but I would recommend it just because of the connections you can make. The fact that I can go and add, you know, the president of the Panthers on LinkedIn and him like actually know, you know, who I am, that's incredible. And that's, you know, in this industry, it's life changing.
For sure.
So I definitely would recommend it to any student who is interested in doing this. And Raleigh is just such a great mentor. She's just such a great person, and she really truly wants to help. She founded this program for people like us, and she always talks about that we're making lemonade because we were given a bunch of lemons with this and we're making lemonade out of it. And so that really encompasses Must Love Sports and the program as a whole in my mind.
Oh, that was so sweet. That's a great answer too. Well, that's all of the questions I had, but I really enjoyed hearing about this internship because, again, we all need opportunities.
Yes.
There's always something to do. I feel like always something to look for. So I'm really glad that you reached out to me and allowed me to bother you for a little bit.
Oh, come on. I miss seeing you every day in class. It made me so sad not seeing you.
I know.
I love, you know, your weekly check-ins. So I'll definitely have more people reach out to you if they can. So thanks for keeping us all connected during this time.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your internship and your summer before you get busy with grad school and all that.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah.
But it was great talking to you, and I'll see you later. It's great talking
to you too. Okay, sounds good. Bye. Thank you.